And welcome to the Schottenstein Center on the campus of The Ohio State University for a special edition of the High School Sports Insider, along with the Executive Director of the OHSAA, Jerry Snodgrass. I'm Dave Bacon. Jerry, appreciate the time. I know you're crazy busy this time of year. We appreciate it.
Thank you. This is also an opportunity really for us to tell our story a little bit too, and you see it here for a weekend, actually 2 weekends in a row of the great things that our kids experience.
Let's talk a little bit about that. Great atmosphere at the Schottenstein Center, as is the goal with state championship weekend, and you mentioned back-to-back weekends, girls first weekend, and then last weekend the boys.
You know, it's really interesting. 2 weeks ago when we had the girls state championship, it's a little more relaxed in here, smaller crowd obviously, but it's really family friendly. And you see more and more that a dad will bring his girls to the game, and they'll just enjoy a day here. A lot of in-game experiences that we have at halftime, jump rope groups, things like that for entertainment. You really see it to be a fun atmosphere for families.
Let's talk a little bit about your first 6-7 months in the role of executive director. It hasn't been a year yet. What's it been like? And how excited are you about that?
Well, you know, you hear this expression, but I'm living the dream, and I do mean that. I often say that I'm a product of this organization, and I know a lot of people could say that, but, you know, growing up, you know, in farm town of Upper Sandusky, Ohio, you know, and, you know, always had that dream of, you know, playing high school athletics. You know, I remember my first state tournament I came to in 1969, and someday could you be here? I didn't know it'd be in this capacity, but, you know, to be able to give back, that something was so good to me. When I took this job, when I was offered this job, the very first individual I called was my high school coach. And my high school coach, who's 80 years old, cried. And it was just a thank you to him for what he's done, you know, 40 some years ago to put me in this position. So I'm truly living the dream.
Well, one of the things that you have been very involved with since its inception, the Golden Megaphone Award, it's a way to get student sections involved, students involved via social media. You announced the winners at the boys semifinals. What's that been like? I see pictures of you, video with the student sections. Tell me how excited you are about that and how it's grown.
You know, I have a passion with it. You know, it's something that 4 or 5 years ago, I think, you know, it's kind of looked at some other ideas from other states, and we wanted to get students engaged. We wanted to make a high school basketball game something where students are involved. Secondly, we wanted to make it positive. And thirdly, we really wanted to reach out to their leadership, which they all have. Seniors stand in the front row, juniors behind them. It's just the way it is. And we thought we could capture the leadership of those groups and use that for some of our overall goals of this organization. And I will tell you, it's been a blast. I get invited to their games. I'm in their student section with them, acting just like them. They keep me a kid for a while. And to bring them here to the state tournament, and then we talk to them afterwards about leadership and some other things, it is, I feel like I made lifelong friends through those young kids. So it's been wonderful.
And it's all done via social media, which is a tool that you want to use. If you want to connect with high school kids, anybody who has high school age kids, you better do it via social media.
Well, when I started 4 or 5 years ago, it was pretty easy to do because a lot of people that I worked around at the time didn't know social media, so they didn't know what I was doing. But it's been a way to capture them. Every bit of it is done through social media, all on a good side. And boy, to see the things they put out, it's helping us tell our story for developing leaders. You know, all the things we talk about the character, we're just taking it beyond the sidelines. We're taking it beyond the court into the stands with the students.
And the student sections themselves have developed a little bit of a competition through social media, it's all good.
Well, you know what's really interesting this year? This went to a whole new level, where they all challenged each other with buying t-shirts to support it. And then second of all, they also challenged each other to do some type of community service. And I will tell you this, we didn't even dream of that. They did that. And I think that highlights, you know, when we first started it, we also took it into our military theme night, where we have one night during this winter season that they respect the media. They first asked us, what do you want us to do? And our response was, we're not going to tell you what to do. You do it. And boy, do they think big. And I'm very proud of that.
We're with Executive Director of the OHSAA, Jerry Snodgrass. We'll take a quick time out. We will return to this special edition of the High School Sports Insider from the Schottenstein Center on the campus of Ohio State University.
keep it simple.
Leaders lead. Leaders lead.
Let's go! Stop whining!
Again, go again, yes! You gotta rotate, go, Stone!
The High School Sports Insider is brought to you by Cuyahoga Community College, where futures begin. By the Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine. By Spectrum News 1, always Ohio, always refreshing, always on, exclusively on Spectrum. By Dominion East Ohio, Dominion, it all starts here. And by Classic Teleproductions. It's late March and the final winter sports are handing out the state championship hardware. The boys' basketball teams are battling it out to earn the title of state champion. A perfect time to hop on board this edition of the High School Sports Insider. Along with Bill Castrovince, I'm Dave Bacon.
On today's show, we'll meet the new queens on the court. Plus, we've got an Eagle who soars in 2 sports, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see our student athlete with a future is amazing.
We begin tonight on the hardwood with one of those teams trying to earn the title of boys state basketball champion. The Richmond Heights Spartans had been close before, but had never made it all the way to Columbus and the state's Final Four. All that changed when the Spartans defeated Springfield by 3 in the regional final this year. Richmond Heights was battle-tested by a brutal regular season schedule, and it served them well. Richmond Heights boys basketball, our team of the week. Richmond Heights didn't show up in any of the Division IV state polls this year, but make no mistake, this team expected to be where it is, in Columbus at the state's Final Four. The Spartans had 6 losses during the regular season. All were to bigger schools with very good basketball programs. It was all a part of the Spartans' plan to stay focused.
We have a standard that we want to meet each quarter, so right now we work quarter by quarter. We don't look past any teams, any games, any situations. We want to worry about doing our job each quarter.
Rogers is in his 2nd year at Richmond Heights. This year his team is long, athletic, and very aggressive. Opponents better have their shoes laced up and be ready to run against these Spartans. It's been a big change for the players with the new coaches.
Working harder. Been working a lot harder every day since we had these coaches. Every day in the gym during the summer, every day.
It's a dream because everybody as a kid wants to be able to dunk and things like that. And our game plan fits that perfectly. Like, we're a team, we like to run, we're all athletic. So yeah, it's really fun. Truthfully, we're a defensive team, so that was our main focus. I mean, it may seem like offense, yeah, sometimes we get rolling a lot, but defense is mainly what we worry about.
This team has a saying, as long as the ball is moving, there are no bad shots on the court. It gives the players a freedom that they respond to.
Just play together and just buy in. That's it. And just do your job. That's all we ask of them. They're very coachable, and that's really the key to all of this. I just want them not to get comfortable and not relax. I want us to keep finding different ways and different things to improve every day.
This team goes 10 or 11 deep and have a number of guys that are tough matchups. The brutal early season schedule has prepared Richmond Heights for this time of year.
It's a big advantage. If 2 people's not hitting, we have 5, 6 more guys that can come off the bench and score. So we really never really have a bad game like that.
We have a lot of confidence. Like, the things we believe we can do, like, for other people it may be crazy, but we know we can do it. We will.
Next stop, the pool. University schools set out to defend their state title in Division II this season, and senior Ethan Banks made sure it happened. Banks came through at the state meet with great performances in 4 events, and he did it despite an injured knee. And the next time he swims, it'll be in the Ivy League. Here's Ethan Banks, our Cuyahoga Community College student athlete with a future. Cuyahoga Community College, where futures begin. Ethan Banks hurt his knee in practice 9 days before the state meet, and he couldn't even walk, but he could still swim.
Most of it was just grit. It just had to go in. I knew the races were going to hurt. I knew that the walls were going to hurt, but I couldn't let the team down, so it was mostly just, how can I change my technique to get around my limitations?
Despite the bone bruise, the University School senior finished third in the 200 free with his best time ever.
Obviously, I have amazing teammates behind me who help with the morale part of it, and having so much of our school in the fan section behind me was even more important.
Banks then finished third in the 500 free, which is a long race, and yet he was in the pool for the very next event, the 200 free relay. Ethan always swims the anchor leg, and he had just enough energy to touch the wall first.
It was a worry. We didn't swim Ethan in the preliminaries on those relays because we didn't know if his knee would hold up for 4 events in preliminaries and 4 in finals. So it was great to save him for finals and then put him on those 2 relays in finals.
And as the anchor for the 400 free relay, the last race of the day, Ethan closed out his high school career with one last victory and a second straight state title for US.
Since my freshman year, I've always had the mentality for that spot. So on the longer relay, the 400 freestyle relay, I'd been in that spot. And then more recently, I've been filling that in the 200 freestyle relay. Coach knows that my greatest strength in swimming is how much I hate to lose.
And yet, he's even better in the classroom. Ethan is a national merit finalist who's headed to the Ivy League.
He has a brain and a capacity to do this hard work. And as you'll see in the pool, he has the capacity to put anything you tell him into practice.
Ethan will swim at Dartmouth next year while studying aerospace engineering, which is rocket science. In school and in the pool, Ethan Banks is out of this world.
So to have that opportunity last summer to go through the recruiting process and end up committing to Dartmouth in the fall was one of the greatest moments of my life.
And about the aerospace engineering, Ethan loved to watch space shuttle missions when he was growing up. Good luck to him at Dartmouth.
We're just getting things rolling on this week's show. Just ahead, an Eagle wrestler who landed on the top at the end of the season, and a group of Cougars who put their program back on top. The High School Sports Insider will be right back.
Before I decided to go back to Tri-C to become a nurse, I was a stay-at-home mom. Absolutely wanted to be a pediatric nurse. I love taking care of kids. If you're thinking about changing your career or changing your path, go to Cuyahoga Community College. I feel like I'm in a great place in my life. I have 3 great kids. I have a great job that I love. I could not have done it without Tri-C. My name's Diana Geary. I earned my nursing degree from Cuyahoga Community College.
Thanks for hanging with us on this edition of the High School Sports Insider. Mount Notre Dame won the Big School Girls State Championship 2 years ago. Last season, they were upset in the tournament earlier than expected, but that loss motivated a number of players who returned for their senior season. When the buzzer sounded this year, Notre Dame had won their 2nd state title in the last 3 years and 7th overall, tied for most by any girls program in Ohio. We have an all-access look at Mount Notre Dame, the 2019 Division I Girls State Basketball Champions.
On the ball handler was going to be a point of emphasis.
Heffling, contact, and puts it down. Heffling now with 11.
She is an absolute warrior. That's all I can say. I mean, you might go, well, I don't know, is she fast? Somebody said, I said that she's not fast. She's fast. She's fast as soon as she goes by you. She's faster than all get out, and she's also very quick off the dribble.
Ends up in Gabby Marshall's hand. She's going to take a long 3, and she hits it. Huge 3-pointer for Marshall.
That was from the star on the...
She takes a long 3 and hits it again from the OHSAA logo that time.
I knew it would give us a little bit of a lead, and I was feeling it, so I just let it go, honestly. That's honestly my range, and I hadn't been hitting the game before or like the quarters before, but I was feeling that shot, both those shots, so I just let it go.
Mount Notre Dame, your 2019 Division I Girls State Basketball Champions, the 7th title for the program in school history.
It's an incredible feeling. I can't even describe it. It means so much. It's the best feeling in the world.
It's just what you dream about, you know, as a coach. For them to play their best basketball defensively, the last 2 games of the season, and withstand Pickerington Central's pressure and the pressure we faced last night. I can't say enough about the girls. They're just one of those special groups, and we're fortunate to have them at Mount Notre Dame.
And those are the best type of celebrations.
can't even put it into words. It's just, it's unreal that we're back here and we're state champs for the second time. I don't know, it's just an amazing feeling just to end my senior season out with a bang.
Your 7th championship in basketball. And with this trophy, that puts you in a tie for the most championships won in girls basketball history in Ohio.
It's not easy at times playing for me, I know that, but the kids are so great, and it's about the big picture and developing young ladies, and they just touch my heart. All of them, they just touch my heart. So I'm just, like I said, I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Let's travel to Lakewood, Ohio, where Seamus O'Malley is counting up his gold medals. O'Malley shines on the mat and on the gridiron. But the senior from St. Ed's is a star in the classroom, setting a great example to his younger brothers. Today we honor Seamus O'Malley as this week's Ohio Lottery Partners in Education Shining Star. Seamus O'Malley has gone back-to-back this year. The St. Edward senior now has a state championship in football and wrestling this year.
I guess my mindset still changes to this. It still has that championship attitude, but at the same time, it's just a little more grit in the wrestling room.
In the fall, O'Malley was a force on the St. Ed's defensive line. He led the team in a number of stats, like quarterback hits. But his favorite play came in Week 4 against Cincinnati Elder in the pit.
It was like the 6th play of the game, and they just fumbled it, and like not too many people knew it was a fumble, and I just picked it up with my 2 hands and just like got kind of a head start to run 53 yards and score that touchdown where I dove at the pylon. So it was really awesome.
And in the state finals, Seamus had a pair of sacks late in the game to clinch the D1 title, just like his older brother. Mike O'Malley was a star on defense when the Eagles went back-to-back in 2014 and 15.
So my older brother, Michael O'Malley, was the Defensive Player of the Year his senior year, and I know he got a couple sacks in the state championship game, so definitely living up to that was quite awesome.
Seamus actually has 5 brothers, 3 of which are younger than him, and because of them, his GPA is a 4.5.
They kind of motivate me to like become a better student athlete and kind of like show my younger brothers how to do it and then kind of like get better than my older brothers who have done it before me.
O'Malley announced in October he will wrestle at Stanford next year. Then in February, Seamus came through at the state duels. His pin at 220 pounds clinched the team title for St. Ed's, who rallied from 19 points down to win by 1.
He's lanky. He knows how to use his length. He's what I call deceptively strong. If he ever gets his hands locked on you, you're done. He's a lot stronger than he looks.
I think that going to Stanford, like just the school-wise, like how they combine their academics and athletics, to me was just like the #1 goal throughout my high school career. So it's kind of like where I shot towards, and I landed it.
If you know a student who shines in the classroom like Seamus, go to OhioLottery.com. Look for the About section. In there, you'll find the Supporting Education tab, which is all the information you need.
If you missed some of today's show or want to see past episodes, they're online and free. What a deal, I know. Head to citybeat-tv.com. That's citybeat-tv.com.
Still to come, we'll head back to Columbus and meet the leader of the Rams. Plus, our Insider Classic is now a star in Iowa. Stay tuned.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program has been recognizing role model students and teachers since 2007. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to OhioLottery.com. In the About section, find Supporting Education. There, you can nominate students in kindergarten through 12th grade as academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as the Teacher of the Month. Every school that participates is eligible for the School of the Year. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine. The High School Sports Insider rolls along. Thanks for riding shotgun with us. Zaya Cook is one of the country's best high school basketball players. She will head to college and play for perennial national power South Carolina. Cook from Toledo Rogers showed everything that makes her so talented, the ability to get to the rim and score and set up her teammates as well. Cook led Rogers to back-to-back Division II state championships and earns the title of Spectrum News 1 Game Breaker. Senior guard Zia Cook finished off her high school hoops career in style by leading the Rogers Rams to their second straight Division II state basketball championship.
It's like an unreal feeling, like my heart. It's like a bittersweet because I'm sad it's my last game in high school, but then again I'm happy because we won the state championship, so who won't want to win? Who wouldn't want their senior year to go the way it went? So that's how I feel.
Cook came into the state championship game as one of the top-ranked players in the country, the Division II Player of the Year in the state of Ohio, and wasn't bothered one bit with all the pressure.
Never. You know, it felt good. You know, that's a blessing. But winning this game meant a lot more to me.
Everything. I mean, it's not. I mean, words can't express about Zia. I mean, Zia is a great teammate. She believed in her team. She believed in me and her coach. She's a great young lady off the court. So she's just a class act, and I'm excited to see her at the next level.
Cook is ranked as the second best point guard in the USA. She'll head to South Carolina to play her college basketball. Zia is one of those point guards who has the ability to score as well as distribute the ball. She led Rogers, who became the first team from Toledo, boys or girls, to repeat as state champions. And wherever Cook goes, she'll always be from Rogers.
Hey, and I want to keep carrying it as long as I can, you know. Just to know that the city's behind me and they love me, hearing them chanting my name, it feels good.
Zia Cook is a finalist for the National Player of the Year and will play in the McDonald's All-American game in a few weeks. Zia will always cherish the memories of leading these Rams.
My team, it's so many, I can't even say one. You know, Rogers is home for me. It's always going to be home. And I'm so happy that I picked that to be my home.
She meant a lot to me. But Zia worked very hard. She believed in me. And like I say, she believed in our school. She stayed loyal. And that's one thing about Zia. She stayed loyal to me, and we got it done.
It's time to fire up that Wayback Machine for this week's Insider Classic. Back in the day, Alex Marinelli won 4 state championships in wrestling at St. Paris Graham. Today, he's at Iowa, dominating the Big Ten. Marinelli just won the conference title at 165 pounds as a sophomore. He's undefeated this season, and he's the #1 seed in his weight class heading into the NCAA championships. Let's go back to 2016 as Alex Marinelli becomes an Insider Classic.
Becoming a state wrestling champion is a battle both mentally and physically. Winning 4 state titles in wrestling is legendary. This year, St. Paris Graham senior Alex Marinelli became a legend.
It was pretty cool. I was dreaming of it last night, and I woke up and I thought it was over, but I still had one more match to go.
It was only a matter of time. Marinelli won in the championship match by a score of 15-7 to claim his spot among the sports elite.
Once you're on the top, I mean, you gotta keep working hard or you'll fall off, and I mean, it's tough to get up there. You put in all this work, 2 days every day practicing, and I think that's why Graham's so tough. They practice so much, and it's not, I mean, we do it smart. It's not like blowing our bodies out, but it's really doing and focus on what you need to work on, and that really paid off, so I'm happy.
Marinelli became the 28th 4-time state wrestling champion in Ohio high school history. Of those 28, 7 have walked the halls of Graham High School, including Jeff Jordan, Marinelli's head coach.
At Graham, we've been fortunate. We've had a few 4-time state champs, and you know what? He come off the mat, he started crying and goes, "Coach, I did it, and this is very, very special." And so, you know what? That's what I like. He had a very great feeling that not a lot of people have.
Over the course of his outstanding career, Marinelli has been dominant. In fact, he won 137 straight bouts, a streak that goes all the way back to the middle of his sophomore year.
This year has been the best year of my life. My teammates are really coming together, and they're really a family, and it's different. It's really a good bond, and I think I'll remember that the most, just being with the team.
Next season, Marinelli will be graduating and moving on to a bigger wrestling stage. he'll wrestle for one of the top programs in the country, the Iowa Hawkeyes.
It's every little kid's dream to grow up and go to Iowa, and all of a sudden this dream became reality with Alex Marinelli. For 4 years, this guy has been an animal. He loves to compete. He's going to Iowa. He's a leader. He's just a great moral young man that I'm going to miss immensely next year. I love him.
We want you to get more involved in the show, and you can through social media. Follow us on Twitter. We're at HS Sports Insider and at Dave Bacon Sports. Tweet us your story ideas or your pictures or your video showing your school spirit. We'll use it in a future show. We're still plugging away on Facebook as well. Head to our page and like us. We're at High School Sports Insider.
Stick around. The tweets of the week are coming up next.
The best thing Tri-C did for me was give me opportunities. The workforce program prepared me for the career I have now. I got a job in the aerospace industry where I work on CNC machines. I have 3 younger brothers. I want to teach my brothers, hard work actually pays off. Come to Tri-C. It's a great stepping stone to wherever you're trying to get to in life. My name is Chris Grooms, and I got my start at Tri-C.
Welcome back inside the High School Sports Insider. We're at the time of the show every week where we ask for your help. We're always on the lookout for outstanding performances, crazy plays, or high school kids just having fun. That's where you come in. When you see that happening, you have to let us know about it. A few rules. You have to use 280 characters or less. Pictures or video is even better. It's time for the tweets of the week. Congrats to Samari Curtis from Xenia High School. He's Mr. Basketball in Ohio for 2019. Curtis, a University of Cincinnati commit, averaged better than 34 points a game. Track legend Jessica Beard back in the area at the A6 Comet Clinic at Amherst High School, talking with aspiring track athletes. And Joan Ganem announced her retirement as head gymnastics coach at Brecksville High School. She'll remain involved with the program. Coach Ganem has led the Bees for over 30 years and has led them to 16 straight state titles. Keep those tweets coming. We want your story ideas or pictures or video showing your school spirit. Tweet those to us. We're at HS Sports Insider or at Dave Bacon Sports. Use hashtag HSSI Ohio. Again, that's at HS Sports Insider or at Dave Bacon Sports. Use hashtag HSSI Ohio. We'll use a few of them on upcoming shows as the tweets of the week. Now we are all out of time on this week's show. Before we go, we want to thank you for taking the time to join us. We hope to see you back here next week, same time, same place, when again we'll have some of the best high school sports stories from all across Ohio.
And as always, thanks for supporting high school athletics. Have a great night.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program has been recognizing role model students and teachers since 2007. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to OhioLottery.com. In the About section, find Supporting Education. There, you can nominate students in kindergarten through 12th grade as academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as the Teacher of the Month. Every school that participates is eligible for the School of the Year. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Schottenstein Center on the campus of The Ohio State